In this week's episode of Working with Work, I'm going to explain the difference between a routine, an area of focus, and a goal. Hello, my name is Carl Pauline, and in this week's episode 26 of Working with Work, I want to show you the differences between a routine, an area of focus, and a goal task. And the reason I want to do this is because recently on my Working with Todoist series, I went through setting up projects, and I have 3 main projects set up in my Todoist, and I recommend everybody does this. One of the project folders is called routines, one of the project folders is called areas of focus, and one of the project folders is called goals. And I really want to explain in a little bit more detail the difference between those 3 project folders. Before we get into this though, I would really like, if you like this video, please click on the like button below. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please subscribe. And for those of you guys who like to receive all these videos in one convenient place every week, then please subscribe to my newsletter, because that gives you everything you need in one place every Friday. It comes out and you'll receive it in your inbox, and then over the weekend you can catch up with these videos. Okay, let's get into the details of this particular episode. So let's start off with routines. What is the routines project folder? Now, the routines project folder is divided up into 3 parts: daily, weekly, and monthly. This is where all the tasks that do not, and I repeat that, do not improve your life go. So for example, a really simple example, take the garbage out. Now, in my area where I live in Seoul, we get garbage collection 3 times a week. That's on a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Sunday. So I would, although I don't need to do this, but I could put in every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, take out garbage. Taking out the garbage does not improve my life one way or the other. It helps to keep my house clean, but it doesn't improve my life. There are other things that come into the routine as well. Let's say part of your job is to collect all the sales data from the weekend and send it to your boss on Monday lunchtime. Now, that's just part of your job. It's the routine of your job. So you would put that into your weekly routines project. Send weekend sales data to my director, for example. That is essentially what a routine is. Other routines could be, I have one because where I live there's a lot of construction work going on throughout the day, so it's a bit dusty. So I noticed that my desk and my television at home collects a lot of dust during the week. So I have a repeating weekly task: clean back of TV and computer. Because during the week we normally dust in the normal way, but the backs of things get forgotten about. So I have clean back of TV and computer down for every Saturday. It's a weekly routine. It doesn't improve my life, but it does help to maintain the cleanliness of my house. Now let's move on to the areas of focus. Now, areas of focus are things that you do not have to do, but you want to do. So a routine is something that you have to do. It's just part of your life. It's part of your job that doesn't take your life forward. Areas of focus, on the other hand, are things that you do not have to do, but that you want to do. So let's take, for example, one of my areas of focus is student affairs. Anything that I want to capture during the day when I'm speaking with my students and I say, okay, I'll send you a link to that video, that will go into my student affairs areas of focus. Also, I have another one, for example, which is rescheduling. Quite often, a lot of my students have business trips or they have important meetings to attend to, so they cancel their class and they want to reschedule their class for that week. in which case I will put that on my rescheduling list. It's not something I particularly have to do, but it's something that I want to do because I want to maintain the relationship with my student. There are other things that, for example, in my areas of focus. This YouTube channel, for example, is in my areas of focus. The reason for that is simply because I see my YouTube channel as something that I want to do. It isn't something that I have to do. It's not part of my job. I do this voluntarily. So it's something that I want to do. It's something I enjoy doing. And so what I try to do is I want to put in anything related to this YouTube channel, like updating the credits or the intros or the outros, for example. Those things are part of just areas of focus. It's things that I want to do, but they don't have an end date. And this is kind of key. Routines do not have end dates. They're just things that you have to do. Areas of focus do not necessarily have an end date. Each individual project does not have an end date. Hobbies, for example, are an area of focus because hobbies are things that you choose to do. They're not things that you have to do. So whatever tasks related to your hobbies would go into your hobbies project. Now this is where areas of focus and projects are quite different. Projects have an end date. So therefore a project has a completion date. An area of focus does not have a completion date. Other things that you might want to put into your areas of focus are things like family, because you may want to schedule family dinners or you want to schedule family outings, whatever it is, they would go into your areas of focus. It's an existing project that doesn't have an end date. I suppose with your family, the end date would be when you die. So, but in real terms, they don't have specific end dates. So what you're looking at in your areas of focus are things like your hobbies, things like maybe your social life, your family life, and also maybe if you're a manager of a team of people, you may want to keep in areas of focus individual team members that you're trying to develop and help them with their training so that they can improve their development skills. Finally, let's move on to the goals. Now, goals have specific end dates because to have a goal needs to have a specific time that you intend to achieve that goal. So a goal has a particular end date. Now, within your goals section, you would actually, I always recommend the goal that you want, so a very clear term about what do you want. So my famous one now on this channel is, I want to buy a Range Rover Velar. Everyone knows that now if you've been watching the series. The next part is the why, and I put in the reasons why. And then the final part of that particular project or that particular goal is that I would put in the individual tasks that I need to do in order to achieve my goal. Goals have a deadline. This is something that you really need to be aware of, because if a goal doesn't have a deadline, it'll never get achieved. So a goal has a specific deadline. They're not related to your hobbies. Specifically, they're not necessarily related to your family unless your goal is to improve your family's life or move your family to another country. But even then, that's not necessarily a family-related goal. It's actually specifically to you. So goals have specific end dates. They're not necessarily related to your company. They're not necessarily related to an individual project. Now, there is always the possibility of some overlap. But the way my brain works, routines are just things I have to do. They're not taking my life forward. My areas of focus are the things that I want to do, but they don't necessarily have any end dates. They're just things that I enjoy doing. For example, this YouTube channel, writing my blog post. It's not my job. I don't have to write a blog post every week, but I enjoy writing a blog post every week. So it's an area of focus. And finally, I have my goals, and they are very time specific because I have an end date in mind when I actually want to finally achieve whatever goal I have set for myself. And that is the difference between a routine and areas of focus and a goal. And hopefully I have cleared that up with this video. If I haven't, please ask any questions that you may have in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer the questions. But remember, This is my system. It works incredibly well for me. It might not work well for you. My whole point of all my videos is really to show you different ways of organizing your productivity and your goals. And I just want you to create a system that is going to work for you. My routines, areas of focus, and goals project folders really work well for me. They might work very well for you, but then again they might not. And if they don't, you don't have to use them. I'm not necessarily saying that this is the best way or this is going to guarantee that you become a productivity genius, because everybody is different. You are different, I am different. And that's one of the beauties of being human. We're all different. We don't all have to have this exact same system. What I really want you to do is to find a system that works well for you, and then get that and make it better and better and better as all the tools evolve and as you evolve as a person. Okay, thank you very much for watching this episode. I wish you all a very productive week, and I will see you in the next episode.